Does this sound familiar? You scroll past another highlight on Instagram or on TikTok, another viral success. Meanwhile, you're doing the same work that you did yesterday. You're doing the early mornings, the late nights. You're just grinding away in silence. And it's this addiction to visibility over value. The trap of that instant applause over the actual transformation. But the truth is your greatness will come from what you do when no one's watching. Not from the dopamine hits of valid back, help you get from stuck to unstoppable, from lethargic to leader. And in these short 15-minute podcasts, I give you actionable steps, I give you reasons and explanations of what's holding you back and how you can change it. I'm here to help you shift your mindset, help you master your mindset so you can master your life and start living the life you're dreaming of right now. So if you get something from this, please let me know. Not from the dopamine hits of validation, but from that brutal, silent hustle that's building your character. But the problem is that society, the world around us right now, is programming us for applause addiction. Performance equals worth at the moment, and that is the wrong way to be thinking. So when that crowd fades, your motivation crashes. This is episode 3 in the intrinsic motive, external rewards to internal rewards. And so when the crowd fades, motivation crashes, but you don't have to live like that. You can choose to become a person of ghost work, that invisible effort that fuels those visible results. If no one applauds, if I'm not seen, I'm not valuable. All lies, all excuses. The real measure of a person is what they're doing when no one's watching, as I said. Those unseen hours are the bedrock of every single win. Discipline is not a spotlight. It's a shadow that you need to be embracing. You need to start to shift your identity. You need to rewrite your story from I need validation to fuel my work to I fuel my work regardless of validation. From visible success defines me to invisible discipline creates me. You're not a performing monkey. You are not a performer seeking applause. You are someone who's building their empire in silence. You're building your life in silence. The crowd may not see you yet, but the work you're doing now, the work you're doing in silence, that is your foundation and it's unbreakable. You notice that a lot of these overnight sensations, they may be famous for a short time, but they have not done the work. They do not have the foundation for that roof on the house, should we say. You're building that foundation, you're building those walls, you're building it up so it's nice and strong. So when you get that success, when you get that life you deserve, you do not only feel happy, satisfied and excited for it, you know that you A, have worked for it and deserved it, and B, you know that you've got a foundation and you are the person who is able to deal with it. System, it lights up when you get a sale, a win. It's a fast spike and a fast crash. It's a quick buzz and then a crash that leaves you more hungry. This is your applause addiction. But it's that tonic dopamine. This is the endurance fuel. This is a coal that's actually going to keep your fire burning. It's that background hum of satisfaction you get from the meaningful, from the repeated effort that aligns with your values and your identity. It's a slow burn. It's not flashy, but it sustains drive through grind and boredom. This is a fuel that ghost work lights. So what separates the crowd chasers from the champions? Crowd chasers, they live for those phasic hits. They need the applause to keep going. The champions, they train their brains to chase that tonic dopamine, effort for its own sake. So your brain's plasticity depends on how you reward yourself. If you rely on external applause, you get shallow motivation and rapid burnout. But if you reward effort, especially that unseen effort, that's where you're going to build your resilience, your grit, and your mental stamina. So for everyone, for those of you listening who think you have to be in the spotlight to be a legend, no. You don't become a legend in the spotlight. You become a legend in the silence. And that's where your real fight lives. When you're doing all the hard work in the background, when you're waking up early, you're putting in the time, the effort, and doing what needs to be done. That's when you become the legend, not when it's noticed. So let's talk about the anatomy of ghost works. And these 4 pillars of ghost work. Number 1 is the invisible consistency. Success is never a burst. It's a marathon of repeated, uncelebrated actions. Ghost work demands that you show up when no one's watching and do it anyway. That's where character is built. Can you imagine someone who wants to lose weight but only goes to the gym on days when they feel like it? Or on days when certain people are at the gym? If they're not going to lose weight, they're not going to get in the shape that they want as much as the person who shows up every single day. And pillar 2, embracing discomfort. This is not sexy. Ghost work can be boring, lonely, and grinding, but you must love the process, not just the outcome. And the ability to sit with discomfort and lean into it, that's a true differentiator. The 3rd pillar is internal validation. You must create your own fuel tank, build rituals, mental cues, anything to root your identity in self-trust, not in likes or praise. When you're anchored internally, any external validation becomes a bonus, but it's not a necessity. And the 4th pillar is the long game mindset. Understand that any ghost work that you're doing is compounding. What you build now multiplies over months and years if you're consistently taking action. Instant applause is a sprint, but ghost work is an investment. So from chasing applause to mastering ghost work, use the no audience ritual. Pick one key daily task you will 100% commit to, regardless of who knows about it. It's your proof of self-trust. It will help you start to believe in yourself. Number 2 is the autonomy anchor. Again, choose a physical cue, clenching a fist, deep breath, specific phrase that triggers your mindset for the unseen effort. Use it to flip your brain into discipline mode. If you start to have an anchor, your brain knows, okay, this is my time for exercise. This is my time for deep work. This is my time for meditation. And a 3rd thing you can do is actually micro mastery focus. So break down those big goals into the tiniest, easiest repeatable habits, because those small improvements, invisible to others, will become monumental over time. It's that compounding interest. So if you want to do these things, create some, again, I love to do it, create rituals, create habits, routines, create a ghost work log. As I said previously, own your invisible wins. So for a week, log one unseen action that moves you closer to your goal. What did you do? How did it feel to work without recognition? What resistance or excuses did you come up with to try and stop yourself, and how did you overcome them? This log becomes sacred because it actually shows your true progress, and it shows you that you can trust yourself without the applause, without the external validation, without everyone else being there and seeing this. 2, as I said, the autonomy anchor. Trigger that inner warrior. Pick a physical or mental trigger. Clench your fist and say something like, yeah, I got this. I build myself. Practice this anchor before any task you know that will potential and you know you need to get it done. Practice this because it becomes a routine, and over time your brain will associate this cue with a shift into that relentless focus and grit. Use this anchor whenever your motivation is waning or distractions start to creep in. 3rd ritual you can do is the standard ritual. Cement your private mastery. Create a short daily ritual where it embodies your identity as a ghost worker. So, for example, in the morning, journal 3 invisible wins from yesterday. Midday, 5 minutes cold exposure or breath work, something that builds physical toughness and mental clarity. And in your evening, just a quiet moment of recommitment. Just, I work when no one watches because I am building my future. So by having that ritual, it physically and mentally just cements your shift from applause seeker just to that silent warrior. And then the fourth ritual is a nightly debrief, because that reflection, that fuels your growth. Because answer the questions: what did I do today when no one was watching? When did I give in to the temptation of applause? What invisible win can I build tomorrow that will take me closer to mastery? Because having this reflection, it forces you to become more accountable to yourself. And that is the ultimate source of long-term motivation. So I love doing all these things, but it makes it 100 times easier when you've got accountability. So find someone who you can be an accountability partner for, and they can be one for you. Yeah. DM me if you're looking for a community where you want to be held accountable. I've got one called The Motivated Man, which is all for men who want to challenge themselves, who want support, and who want to be held more accountable on their journey to live their best life and to be the best version of themselves. So make sure you're getting that someone who can hold you accountable, who you can hold accountable as well. So my challenge to you is to actually, as I said, this podcast is not just about listening, it's about doing as well. So log one invisible task daily in your ghost work log. Activate your autonomy anchor before every task that feels thankless. Perform your standard ritual every morning, midday, and evening. And reflect nightly on your invisible wins and applause temptations. No crowd is needed, no applause is required, just you and your silent, unshakable, unwavering determination to live the life you want. You're not here to perform, you're here to build. So try this 14-day challenge and see what difference it makes. Remember, you are the silent architect of your destiny. The work that no one sees, that's the real work. It's the foundation that creates unstoppable momentum. So own it. Own your ghost work. Build your legacy. Master your mindset so you can master your life. Thank you for listening. I really hope you got something out of this. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing this episode, please pass it on to them. Please forward it and share it. My mission is to help as many people as possible, and you can help me do that by sharing this podcast, by subscribing, by liking, by rating this. And whatever your biggest takeaways were, please share them. Let me know. Tag me in them at just.live.coaching on Instagram. I'd love to know how this helps you get from where you are now to where you want to be. Thank you.